What's up? Just to be JP in the house. Okay, I want to talk about Ariana Miyamoto, the lady who's going to represent Japan in the World Beauty Contest. Anyway, I just want to say something. First of all, Japan is a nation they are mixed, okay? You got people coming in from different parts of the section. Africans been in Japan, and pure African has been here. They know that, it's a fact, and they've mixed in. Of course, African DNA is in Japanese. Japanese have African DNA in them. That's a fact. Those who study knows that. Japanese people in the wintertime, they get white. In the summertime, they turn black. Japanese people do look black. The Ariana, she looks like a typical Japanese woman. Maybe not the ones you see on TV, but the ones walking around the street. A lot of women look like her. A lot of women out here look like Alicia Keys, look like what's that one girl's name? If I remember later. A lot of these Japanese people out here do look black. When you come out here, a lot of people come out here and they don't look at the features. They look at the color. Okay, you have to look at the features. Asian people have a lot of African features in them, because if you just go and do the study and research, you'll see. Okay, and a lot of them already know it, so that's not a problem. The problem is everybody is just so attached to the name of their country and kind of detached from their genetics and all that stuff. Japan white people did enslave Japanese people, and you have to read about that. And I guess the king or whoever, the emperor of Japan, found out, and he kicked everybody out. And the reason he was probably able to do that was because they had the white people's weapons weren't as advanced, and they were outnumbered, so that could have happened. Of course, we all know what Perry came and had the weapons and forced Japan to open up again. Let's see, I just want to get all this stuff out. In 1920s, there's a picture of the royal Japanese family. They are black. You can look it up in the archives. Someone on YouTube sent it to me. I've been getting a lot of data and information concerning Japanese people, how dark they were. Before World War II, they said Japanese people were very dark. That royal family in 1920 followed their roots, traced their roots back to Ethiopia, and they wanted to reconnect by marrying their princess to an Ethiopian prince. But at the time, I believe Italy was at war with them, and they stopped it, because that would have definitely put Africa or Ethiopia anywhere on a major level, playing field level. Japanese culture that we see today is only here because they lost the war. If Japanese would have won World War II, the Japan that you see today would not exist. And I was talking to a friend today, and she would say the same thing. If Japan would have won the war, the Japan of today would not exist. Okay, you only see Japan of today only because of because they lost the war. That's it. Everyone's talking about Japanese culture, and it is a homogeneous. They're homogeneous people. Well, like I said earlier, they're mixed. All Japanese people know that. The homogeneous, or whatever it is called, I can't think of the word. I'm kind of tired. But the unity between them is going to be the culture. The culture of, I love this island, I love this land, I love being called Japanese, and whatever, okay, and other things like that. So that's what they hold dear. But basically what they hold dear is the fact that those people who were born here of parents whose parents were here, who went through wars, fought, died, built, and different things to create what Japan is now. Now, of course, or who survived to make Japan what it is now. So I can understand that is true, but as far as everyone looking alike in Japan, no, that is far from true. You got a lot of Japanese people that look black. You got some that just look like they mix with black and white, and you got some that look white. Just depending what the parents look like. A lot of white people come here. A lot of these white men come here, marry these Japanese women, and kids come out looking black. Okay, and it's really interesting. I was sent a article by a friend talking about Ariana, and some people were saying different things. Actually, they said some people are against it. I really haven't heard too much. The people I've talked to so far, they said it's good, and that she won because she is Japanese. That's one thing a lot of people have to understand. Japanese people, when you're born here in Japan, you are called Japanese. Now, you might be darker or whatever, they might call you half, and stuff like that, but they're going to say that because of this false pride thing, well, your parents are gaijin and stuff like that, and it's probably the same thing as we do in the United States and stuff. When you have, like in the black, you have black parents and mixed parents and stuff, and the kids come out looking different, and sometimes you're gonna have those. Some kids in Japan, they're gonna have some problems sometimes, but they're not gonna have any more problems than the normal kids do here, because a lot of kids, if you read the newspapers, there's a lot of bullying and stuff like that going on too. And it happens in other countries. It really doesn't matter what's going on. You might want to ask my son. He has had a few problems and stuff, but I told him how to handle it and things like that. But the number one thing I told him, I said, you have to understand that you are Japanese, because I haven't gotten this American citizenship yet. But I told him that you're Japanese, and be proud of who you are. And you, of course, you black, be proud of who you are. Then his mother told him a few months ago that he's black, the Japanese people are black. Okay. Get to my point is that for her being African and her mother being Japanese, that is like the perfect setting for Japan anyway, because Africans have been here, have settled, built communities, contributed a lot to Japan, and a lot of people saying contributed a lot to Japan to what it is today. Well, like I said, Japan is what it is today only because they lost the war. Because had they won the war, Japan would not be what it is now. You would not see these cars doing this or anything. There's no telling what Japan would have been. Okay, if they would have won the war, it ain't no telling what the United States would have ended up becoming too. Okay, they probably would have been still fighting over, it could be like Korea or whatever. So, so there's a lot of influences that happen, but let's project it in the past. There are a lot of artifacts here, and there are a lot of information here, history here about blacks' African contribution to Japan. And for one thing, you can't really just separate Africa and the Africans who came here and settled on these islands before the name Japan even came. Japan came way after that. What it is now came way after. So when you go to the past, it's like you're trying to say, well, America, in America 200, well, there was no such thing as America 200,000 years ago. It was whatever those people called it, and the people looked like whoever those people were looked back then. So it's the same thing as Japan. So her being half is kind of like, how can I say? I don't know the word for it, but it's kind of, I want to say silly. It's not silly, but it doesn't make any sense, because when you read the history of Japan, you're going to read about Africa. You have to read about Africans being here. You have to, because the Japanese people, the ones who look like they look now, they would not look like that if they didn't have African DNA in them. Okay, you come out here, I'm telling you, you come out here, these guys and these women look black, and the older they are, the more African you can say they'll look, or how they say, people that come from what we quote unquote American without ignorance. Ignorance is jungle, you know what I'm saying? And so we would have those images, but when you look in the past and you see them, you look at the older women, you know, they straight look like they're from, you know, they got some black in them. And I mean, their lips, their noses. You got families who they might have, someone in the family might have a narrow nose with some big thick lips, or someone might have some thin lips and a wide nose, you know, thick nose, African nose. And so Japanese people, really, they're mixed, okay, and they mix with African and whoever else came over here and mixed with them. They got this thing talking about people get lighter over whatever. No, that's not true. People change per birth. Okay, people change per birth. You have a black family, a black man, a black woman, have one birth, the baby came out white down. That's it. Blue-eyed, blonde-haired kid. It happens all the time, you know. And so it must be something in the DNA. It doesn't change over a little bit. No, one birth can make a big difference. And then if that kid marries someone else that's dark, then bam, 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 it's going to create this natural chain that's going to, you know, happen and stuff. So the whole thing about people being up against her for it, and they always say it because she doesn't represent the whole Japan. The same thing happened in Fiji, the lady, and if you guys don't know, Fijian women look just like black women, afros and everything. You guys need to really travel or look, because the world is still black. People in Asia, they get out in the sun, and that melanin is gonna kick in. Okay, it's gonna kick in and turn them black. There are a lot of people, Fiji and different places, they straight got afros, straight look just like us. You guys gotta travel, you gotta look at the books. You know, just travel. You know, just go and travel. I met this one guy from Fiji, and he straight looked like my friend Ron from my Starbucks Convos videos, except for you just had an afro, you know. And that was it. All the way from Fiji, I'm like, what? You know, so it's really interesting. But if the people, you know, and really I didn't really see too many comments about it, because I'm going to start asking people what do they think about it. And I'm in the countryside, so maybe the countryside and the city side might be different. But if anyone's upset if I repeated this already, if I already said, I'm just going to say it again, which this is the third time or fourth time I'm making this video, and it's still long, I'm trying to make it short, is that when they say they don't represent, she doesn't represent Japan as the normal Japan. Well, I can understand that, okay, because what they're probably saying is that, you know, I think I said that, yeah, so she doesn't her family doesn't come, it's not from the family who were here all the time and struggled and made these progresses and things like that. And then for her to represent Japan, and her family background on both sides doesn't have those how can you say that, those connections to that history, then I can understand what they're saying. But every generation in Japan changes, and first it was this warring, then after the war or whatever it was, then it was the trading. You know, the samurais went from fighting to doing business. and then this happened, and then this happened, and so it changes. So so the culture always changes. But if they want someone to represent Japan, I think it would be more or less, I don't think it's because of her father is African or her mother's Japanese, and I could be ignorant on this, but I really don't think so. And some people can say it like that, but when you throw facts in their faces, then they will have to say, yes, we have African blood in us. But, you know, it's more or less, it's just that they just want someone more personal who I can say, like I said, who eat from the same plate they ate from. You know, and who did this from the same plate, you know, and did that. So that's what I believe it's all about. When they say the people who are against it and all of that stuff, then, you know, if they're going to make a fair claim or whatever, you know, yeah, I'm thinking because of the older Japanese people who I speak to, it's not because of racism or anything like that. You know, I don't believe that's it. You know, it's just for the fact is that it's like if somebody, a naturalized person, becomes a natural citizen, and they won a lottery, $43 million. Then all the American citizens are going to get mad. Well, he's not a real American, or she's not a real American, you know. And so it's one of those. But it's not. That's just something like what I'm talking about is really serious. And those people who say that, then true, you know, I can understand that. That's okay, you know. But I don't think that they have anything against her because she's African or anything like that. Because when they look at her, they can't say that she does not look Japanese. Because she does look Japanese, because there are a lot of Japanese people out here whose family, whose mother and father are Japanese, and these children, and even they look black. And I've shared this in my videos plenty of times. You come out here and everybody's paying attention to the skin, but you guys got to look at their features. White guys come out here and they're saying, oh, you know, I was at Costco's once in Amagasaki, and these white guys were there, and some guy had his kid on his shoulder, you know, and he was saying, you know, wow, you know, you're talking about, oh, you're lucky your child looked like you. He said, yeah, I am. You know, most of the white guys that come out here and marry these Japanese women, their kids come out with black features. That means, so if they were racist in the States when they had a baby, then they got to get rid of all their racist attitudes, or some might get upset, you know, but you won't know. I have a friend of mine out here too. He had a baby, a black guy, had a baby with a Japanese woman. He has thin lips, and you know, she's just a regular Japanese woman. And that baby came out looking black with thick lips. No, he came out white. But he got curly hair, thick lips, and he straight looked black, you know, but he's just light-skinned. And when I saw him, you know, I was like, wow, you know, wow, okay. You know, this in nature is really interesting, you know, and I guess I don't know what he was expecting me to say, you know, I can only guess and just say, you know, maybe he thought I was going to be surprised, you know, because he's dark. I think he's darker than I am, but his baby came out whiter than mom and the mother too. So it's just very interesting. So I really think the majority of Japanese people really don't care. Those who do care about the culture and everything, or if, let's say, the government officials, they're going to have to say things to appease whatever, you know, countries they want to appease or make happy, whatever. I don't know how they're going to come. I really haven't heard too much about it. But all I can say is that if there is the problem is just probably, like I said, her father did not share in the same trials and tribulations that a Japanese woman or the other Japanese woman who might have been in there, whose parents or fathers did that. And that's probably their argument, okay? And if that's their argument, and to represent Japan, then they're saying, well, we want somebody to represent Japan for the culture, for the sufferings and the building up of Japan from, you know, from whatever time, even if it is from the Africans who were here first to those who makes when the Chinese came and other people came and blah blah blah, and we came. It doesn't matter. That person was here. This is where we are now. So this is the Japan that we want. This is the line of the women of Japan that we want to represent Japan. And like I said, there are a lot of people out here that just straight look black, and there are no prejudice towards them. Nothing, you know, no prejudice towards them. No arguments. They don't get called whatever. It's not. That's why, you know, I say that, you know, people say it's racism out here, but you know, there's not a system. Well, for us, for black people, there's not a system. And plus, the word racism means, you know, the original meaning is a government that practices systematic oppression or something like that towards people, and you know, towards another ethnicity or race or whatever of people. And Japan doesn't do that towards black people. You know, you come out here, the guy that did the SoftBank commercials, you know, I heard his story. You know, I can't really say it, but you know, I know his friends who know him, and they told me, you know, what he did. And pretty much, this is true. You know, he went up there and he you know, tried out for the position and won. You know, and different people do that. So you know, I think it's good she won. It's fine. You know, but maybe what they need to do is maybe they just need to change the whole rules of the beauty pageant, you know, to prevent this, because if you want to represent, if you're going to have a beauty contest to represent the whole country, then if you want to, you know, that's like saying, you know, okay, well, we got a Japanese team, you know, but yet they're going to have foreigners on the team. You know, and then you're like, okay, you know, that's like if you have the world basketball thing that's going on, and somebody from Spain, you know, they'll just join the American team. You know, that's not, you know, it's like, no, you can't do that. And I think that's what they're trying to say in the beauty pageant. But you know, a lot of people now, they really don't care, because they're probably saying she's beautiful. They might say because she has that, she's have that guy gene, she's not all that submissive. Maybe she's strong and present herself. Maybe if she was to be put, you know, up on a world platform and had to talk, then she would be able to express herself without all that well, I wouldn't say unnecessary humbleness. But she, you know, you'll be able to, she's probably able to separate business and culture or something like that. And I'm sure everybody can do that, but you know, it is what it is. You know, if they're gonna reject it, it is. But I don't think they're gonna do it. They might protest and everything, but a lot of Japanese people, especially the old people, you know, they're like, I'm sure they're like, so we don't care. I mean, you know, look at you young kids, what you guys doing. We didn't do these things when you guys were growing up, and we tried to tell you to keep this, but you know, they can't keep their old cultures because of technology and everything, you know. So yeah, I think that's it. You know, people want to make some races out of it. You know, you really got to come here to Japan and talk to the older people. You can't talk to the younger people. You know, you talk to the ones in their 40s, well, I wouldn't say 40s, 50s and above. You know, because those are the Japanese people whose parents forged what Japan is now. You can't talk to the ones in their 40s or in their 30s, because they're still growing and they haven't had a chance to contribute or forge or do too much, unless it's some business. But as far as, you know, a lot of other things, no, you're going to have to talk to the older people. And when you look at them, when you talk to them and you see them, you're going to, I'm telling you, when you see the older Japanese people, they do not look like the younger ones. It's this big change that's happening. And it's weird because, I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, when you look at all their faces and their lips and everything, it's just really, really interesting, the change, you know. And I'm like, wow, okay, you know. And I go around and I'm like, okay, you know. Okay, you know, this Japanese person don't look like that one. And you get a family, and even my wife's family, you know, she has a small nose, kind of thin lip, not thin, well, small lip, but really small mouth. But her sister look more black, you know, and her sister's also into reggae and all of that stuff. But you know, you look at her thick lips, kind of thick lips, and you know, black African nose, you know, wide nose, you know, flesh and all of that stuff. So it's really interesting. Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. Look at that view. I need to get a camera, a picture of that. That is so nice. There it is. Oh man. But okay, did you see that? That is so nice to me. Oh no, car. Oh no, that's not good. Oh man. Oh well. Anyway. So that's what I believe, you know. They say racism here, you know, but you have to understand this. If one person says something to you, then it's not, you can't say it's racism. It's just them being ignorant or trying to be funny, you know, and things like that. But it's good that she won because there was a competition. She entered and she won. And then another thing too is you're gonna go down to where I think she's from. What's that? Nagasaki. And Nagasaki, from what I've read, it was straight African. You know, African people came down there. You know, and you know, there's another story too. You know, I'm not gonna get on to that. But you have to go down there and look and see what the people in Nagasaki look like. You know, because if they all look more black, which southern Japan is known to be more black, and Okinawa, they are black. And even, you know, before the ones that look like now, you know, the main Japanese people went over there, had this big thing on. This is some really, you know, some stuff went on. You guys really need to read it. And that's what they look, and because of that, that's what they look like now and stuff. So it's just really interesting. But you got to go down there and see, because if she does, because I think the African culture in Nagasaki is there. It's definitely there from what I've read. Okay, and it's there. So if they say, hey, you know what, just for the mere fact that we are African and you're African, then we're going to choose you. Then, you know, she was chosen from a certain area, and that area has official recognitions and stuff like that. So, you know, she won, and you can't, you know, there's 47 different states or whatever you want to call them here, and she beat out 46 other people, you know. And if all those 46 other people properly represented to Japan, that the people who are not happy that she represented, then you have to look at it and say, well, why was it that she was able to win? Because she is Japanese. You know, they kind of have whatever. But she is Japanese. What was it about her that made her be chosen over everyone else? You know, there had to be something there. And so that is where people really need to look into and see what was there, because to be able to win over, I don't know if the other 46 women that were there were all quote unquote pure Japanese. You know, some, you know, they on TV and stuff, they have a lot of mixed kids, you know, doing things too. But you still have to wonder why, because there is nowhere in the world that her dad could have bribed the judges. You know, there's no way. That's not going to. I doubt he's going to have the money to bribe the people in Nagasaki, I think is where she's from, to make her win of all the women that was there. You know, and like I said, you got to go there and see what it's like. Okay, and there's no way that her father bribed all the other 46 the judges who, you know, bribed everyone. There's no way. So, you know, that's just pure her. And when she entered the first contest and everything, they knew that her father, that she was quote unquote what they call half, you know, but they already knew. But it was just something about her that those judges saw that, hey, you know what, we like this, you know, and this is the Japanese, the type of Japan. This is this Japanese citizen, and that's what she is, regardless of whatever you want to call it. She is a Japanese citizen. She got a passport. She can run to be the prime minister if she wants, if women are allowed, whatever. She can do whatever she wants, just like any normal person here can. And whatever those qualities in her that they saw, then they say, hey, this is the Japan, this is the type of attitude that we want in our women, at least, or in our men that she represents. And this is what the new Japan is going to develop into, because as we know, as a lot of people talk about Japan, you know, they're saying how kind they are and blah blah this and blah that. And I talk to a lot of people and they're like, you know, they want to change. They want to have a more strong Japanese, you know. This out here they're trying to change it to be more stronger Japanese, you know, have more whatever, you know, the schooling. They're trying to get back smart, you know. They want to be their own people again. They want to develop their own, you know. They don't want to be a country where everybody's just walking around going, hi, saying hi, 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 hi. You know, they don't want that. Nobody wants that. So you have to find out what it is that's in this woman that made her beat out 46 other women who were supposed to be, I guess, 100% representative of what Japan is supposed to be. There's something about her that one, because you can't say that it was a white person. You know, I can understand if she was half white, you know, maybe would people be saying that too, which I'm sure people probably would have said something, you know, because you know, you got those people out there who, like I said, they respect and love and cherish all the people who have parents, who are kids of parents, who are kids of parents, that go back and back, that forged and went through the wars and sufferings and whatever it is to make Japan what it is now, you know. And they have that pride, and I totally understand that, you know. But it's just something about her, you know, because maybe if she was white, half white, then everybody can jump and say, oh, you know, white man this and the white man that, you know. And they pushing Japan, and they just making they want Japan to have this white image, you know, and we can say that's true, okay, because, you know, white people got money and all this stuff and blah blah this and all that stuff. But we know for a fact that her father, I doubt he has that type of power, and he has that type of money, no way. So it's just something about her that they see. And you know, from what I see, if you look at history and you see what's going on and stuff, you know, she's Japanese, and she probably reminds them of their old samurai Japanese people who were around probably before Curry came over and forced it open, or probably was around before the first foreign people came over here and opened up or whatever. I don't know, but you know, this is like way too long. You're just gonna have to go and do that history and see, I mean, you know, and see who she is, you know, and what is it about her, because there are a lot of things that Japan wants to change. And I just, like I said, I was talking to this one lady today, and you know, we were just talking, and she was like, yeah, you know, she's happy she won, you know. And it's you know, saying that, hey, you know, there's this element that we need, and maybe, and I'm not saying it's because of the DNA in her, no, it's just probably because of maybe something about her. Maybe she went overseas or whatever, I don't know, because I doubt her father was the strongest in the house, because usually Japanese women, when they marry to foreign men, they definitely are the stronger ones, and the men are usually the weaker ones in the house. Black men too, Japanese women. Black women, if you want to know how to tame a black man, and you come to Japan and you watch how these Japanese women do it, because these Japanese women out here got these black men doing things that they would not do if they were with you. If they were with a black woman, they would left her in a second. The women, these Japanese women, they were black, they left them in. If they were you, they left you in a second. Out here, these Japanese women are keeping these men in their places. Okay, and I don't know how they're doing it, but it's just basically all I can say is, like I said in my videos, you know, Japanese women make black women look like angels, you know. So, and I'm not saying that they're wrong or anything. It's just that they just had this power where they're able to control these guys and say, hey, you know, we need this money, you go get it. You know, here, hi, he go out and do it. You know, and ain't no, you know, what's going on in the States. So maybe they see that in her, you know, where she's able to say, hey, you know, I'm a woman, and I know I'm a woman, but the fact is I'm a human too, and by the natural rights that are within me as a human, as my biological makeup, I demand this, I demand that, and in the law of nature, you know, there shouldn't be wars and all that stuff like that, but you know, people come together, they'll, you know, put their equations in, and her equation come out to be the best of all the solutions, and people say, okay, and that's just how it is. So maybe that's something about her that they just saw, and they said, hey, you know, this is the Japan that we want. And until somebody actually go and find out, then fine. But you know, after she if she wins, you know, then they'll say, you know, tell to the world, you know, hey, blah blah blah, what do you think about that? And she said, hey, you know, regardless of whatever people say, I am Japanese, and that's all she has to say, and that's the truth. What else can anyone else say? You know, they can't say that. Yes, that's true, and bam, end the story. I'm out. Peace.